Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at MMTLP and some important questions with regard to statute of limitations. We're also going to be looking at positive news for Tesla and Bitcoin, and we're also going to be looking at some huge news with regard to MULN Mullen Automotive with regard to a lawsuit and also share buyback. So stay tuned for that. Before we make a start, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first headline here from Reuters: Wall Street rallies as jobs data fuels interest rate optimism. So today has been overall a strong green day in the market, with many stocks hitting all-time highs for the previous 52 weeks, including Google. But let's now move on to have a look at news with regard to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin jumps 6% on Grayscale Bitcoin ETF ruling. So this is tremendous news for Bitcoin, and we can see here in the chart, as soon as the news broke, it did break $27,000. So again, very, very strong green candle there. And in other news with regard to Tesla, shout out here to Sawyer Merritt, who posted Samsung is reportedly becoming Tesla's primary provider for their 5th generation self-driving chip HW5, and the advanced chip is expected to utilize a cutting-edge 4nm process, according to news publications in Korea. So that solves a huge problem for Tesla, and today Tesla, we have seen it go close to 7% up in terms of upcoming catalysts for Tesla. Again, there has been some strong downward movement, but obviously the CEO Elon Musk has been talking about his pricing strategy. Prices have been coming down. We've also seen self-driving technology is one of the obviously important catalysts for Tesla going forward. And we can also see here another revenue stream looking for Tesla is the Tesla supercharger network. So obviously they are also looking to have growing deals with other EV makers with regard to the charging. And before we get started in look at MMTLP news with regard to AMC. If we have a look at the overall chart here from beginning of January 2021 to present time, we can see the 2,850% gain in AMC during the 2021 meme stock mania has now virtually been erased after a 98% decline. So very recently we have been seeing strong downward movements in AMC, and obviously also shows the importance of protecting and taking profits. Let's start by having a look at some questions with regard to statutes of limitations. So shout out here to Rosa, who has posted some clarifications on this, and one of the reasons for this is she has seen lots of misinformation. So what she said here is the nature of a claim is based upon the actions being sued for. If today the actions you are entitled to are still in the process of being violated, still more shares, still no clarity, it's arguable that the act against you is being committed today. So obviously that means the statute of limitations should not be applicable if you are still being harmed. So I think that's a very, very important and good point there. If information is not apparent to you, for you to state your claim, the statute of limitations can be paused. It's called tolling based on your lack of access to evidence. So I also think that is fairly relevant and applicable in our situation, where the broker dealers and FINRA etc. are obviously withholding information, especially with regard to the blue sheet data. So if we use this argument, then obviously that could also apply to a pause in the situation. So one thing with regard to law, it's not simple, it's not layered, it is quite complex, and in my opinion, many of the terms and terminology in law is very, very subjective and also open to interpretation, which is why you always get different opinions. So shout out here to Gabriel, who stated it's been over 2 years since the fraudulent listing of MMTLP. How would that statute apply in this situation? So obviously, according to Rosa here, it depends on the grounds you're suing on. Fraudulent listing isn't a cause of action. Fraud in the inducement has 6 years. But obviously we don't know if that would apply with regards to the Sherman Act violation, which is 4 years, and obviously told by fraudulent concealment of facts, and as is the case with MMTLP. So obviously almost every case of action is told by fraudulent concealment of facts, especially for those related to the distribution of estates and real estate. So again, it is a complex situation, but going forward with regard to statute of limitations for MMTLP, I don't think that's relevant right now. However, going forward over time, it could be something that we need to look at. Let's now have a look at news with regard to MULN Mullen Automotive. So shout out here to David Mitchery, who posted earlier today. Mullen Automotive files lawsuit against a large number of broker firms, including TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, National Financial Services, and others. So legal action alleges stock manipulation and unlawful stock trading practices. So this is huge news. And also shout out here to Charles Payne, who's replied here to Wartime CEO, who initially posted, Mullen news outlets don't cover these types of stories anymore. So that's with regard to the Mullen lawsuit, but Charles has stated here, well, good for them. So credit to Charles. And David Mitchery has also thanked Charles by saying, we're not only fighting for Mullen, we are fighting for every shareholder who has been hurt. So again, great news there. So let's get straight into the news. So headline here from the Mullen Automotive website, and it states here, Mullen files lawsuit against large stock brokerage firms, including TD Ameritrade, Schwab, National Financial Services, and others. So they are alleging stock manipulation. They're also alleging unlawful stock trading practices. So in terms of details of this from the legal point of view, if we have a look at here, this is filed in the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. And Mullen Automotive is filing this against TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, National Financial Services, and John Doe's through 10. So let's have a look at a summary of the allegations. So if we see here, obviously they're looking at key dates between May the 4th, 2023 and August 25th, 2023. So that is regarded as a relevant period. And I think in this relevant period, we've seen obviously the Mullen Automotive share price being crucified all the way down to significant losses for many investors, in excess of 95%. So what they are saying or alleging here is that the John Doe defendants unlawfully sold fictitious Mullen shares in advance of the issuance of new shares of the company for either their own proprietary accounts or their customer accounts. So by selling fictitious or fake shares, that is one way to drive the price down. So strong allegations, and I believe Mullen Automotive will probably have some data from Share Intel to support this in this court case. So again, credit to the company here for bringing this up. Number 2, remove without authorization Mullen shares from their customers' accounts to lend to other market participants or to cover their own short positions until new shorts were issued. So again, direct allegation against the brokers here, and also states by creating and using these fictitious and unauthorized shares, the defendants unlawfully increased the supply of Mullen shares that were available for short selling. So again, highly dubious practice there. And the final thing I'd like to share with you here is again breaking news from Mullen, and that is with regard to the stock buyback program. So this was also shared today, and it states here, to date Mullen has repurchased just in excess of $5.6 million worth of shares of common stock. $25 million buyback program began on August 16th and is authorized through to December the 31st, 2023. So again, good news here from Mullen Automotive. One more thing I'd like to share with you is a question I asked in the Discord earlier today, and that is with regard to the dividend in terms of GNS Genius Group. So I'm going to share with you here some important dates. So it states here GNS Group has set a record date for the full share count of its shares for the purpose of distribution as of August 31st 2023. So in terms of the record date, i.e. shares purchased and held 2 days or more prior to August 31st 2023. So in order to qualify for the dividend, you should have had the shares in GNS by close of play today, which is 29th of August 2023, and this will give you entitlement to receive an equal portion of the total shares in Entrepreneur Resorts Limited. However, one of the key questions that many people ask is how much is this dividend going to be, or how much is the exact per share rate, and that is going to be announced to shareholders after the record date. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.